up for the hilarious Scott McInnes!
Why, good evening, Comedy Bar. It's so good to be here. My name's Scott. I'm gay and Australian, and that makes me like the crocodile hunter, but for bears and otters and men. One of those is my favorite. I love telling Canadians that I'm from Australia because they always have the best reactions. Like one time, this lady found out I was from Australia, and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about Steve Owen." And we weren't close. This other guy, he was like, "Oh, Scott, you're Australian. Oh, man, I would love to go to Australia, but I'm worried about being eaten by spiders." I was like, "How much do you think a spider eats?" Right? Like, picture an Australian spider for me. You know, maybe they're like this big. Maybe like this big. By the time that guy is halfway through your big toe, he's about to pop. He is ready for a Tooheys New and a lie down on the couch while the test match is on. And this has told me, through repeated interactions with Canadians, you really only know two things about Australia. You know our pop culture figures, and you know our deadly animals. And there's like so much more to the country than that. For example, we have serial killers too. That's an important third leg. I am now a Canadian citizen as well. I'm a dual citizen. Oh, thank you for the woohoo. I appreciate it. It took not a lot of work, but there was definitely like some cultural friction when I tried to like fit into Canadian society. And one of the first examples of that was the very first time I went to a restaurant in Canada, because I'm from a very rural part of Australia. So I land, a buddy of mine takes me to Swiss Chalet, presumably because he wanted me to turn around and get back on a plane and leave. He attempted to kill me with an overdose of cloves by giving me something called chalet sauce, which I did not appreciate. It's horrendous. I know this. You know this. Deep down, you know this. But we were having a great conversation. I was really getting into it. I was enjoying it so much. And then I got jump scared by a waiter who came up to the table and went, "How's everything tasting?" And this was new to me. I was like, what? Why are you here? How's everything tasting? With a mouth? Like, how should it be tasting? Oh God, has the chef done something? Is that why the sauce tastes like this? Because I knew Canadians would not season their chicken with cigarettes. And seeing the confusion in my eyes, my friend was very generous. He like waved the waiter away and was like, "Scott, what's going on?" And I was just like, where I grew up in Australia, if you go to a restaurant and buy food, it's the same as any other consumer transaction. I'm giving you money for a thing, you give me the thing. If there's a problem with that thing, like, I will let you know. And my buddy was just like, "Well, they don't do it like that in Canada. It's very proactive here. This was just a standard everyday welfare check." No, it's called a quality check. You would only need a welfare check if I was like abusing my lasagna. And I would never abuse my lasagna. Not on the way in, anyway. But I just had I'm like, okay, I kind of get it now. I understand why we do this, right? They want to make sure I'm not suffering in silence. But it's still a bit weird to me. Because, like, no one in this room would, like, buy a new toilet, for example, and then expect the first time you're using it, the salesman to pop in and be like, "Everything going okay?" Because you'd be like, "Of course it's going okay. Of course it is. If there was a problem, I'd let you know. That's why I'm here." And you might be thinking, buying a toilet is a very different thing from ordering food at a restaurant. And dear God, I'm hoping you're thinking that. But what about like a hotel? I don't book a hotel room and then expect halfway through my first night there, the concierge to come barging in going, "How's your stay?" I'd be like, I'm literally inside somebody else's husband. I'm having a fantastic time. So that's customer service. That's as we. I soldiered through. I understand it now, right? There's other parts of Canadian society it took me a little getting used to. For example, Canadian politeness. This is wonderful. It's so supportive. They don't really have Australian politeness, like as a national trait. You're lucky if on a good date you get Australian tolerance. And I had a good day once because I had to come out of the closet to my best friend from high school. Now, we grew up together, very rural Australia, far from the big city, right? And, you know, things were a little different there. My buddy Greg, he was raised by 2 cops. And I'm not saying I've got anything against cops, but, you know, we've all got smartphones. The mood's not great. But I had to sit him down and tell him, you know, Greg, I'm gay. And I was not a flamboyant child. He didn't see it coming. And I was worried that I was going to get intolerance. I was worried he would respond with prejudice. But instead, his face just lit up. He was so excited. He said to me, Scott, that's fantastic. You can help me tell my dad I'm into Asian chicks. And that's a reaction, I guess. I'll tell you this, he didn't take my advice, which was to tell his dad that he was into Asian dudes and then walk it back a step. Because that's what I would have done. But where was, oh, Canadian politeness. Sorry, I got sidetracked there for a moment. Canadian politeness, I love it. It's very supportive. Sometimes I'm not looking for support. For example, in the bedroom. Now, I am a red-blooded Australian and Canadian male at this point. Sometimes I'd be making out with a guy and I'd go, I'm feeling a bit cheeky. I'm feeling like I might want to kick this up a notch. So back in Australia, if I wanted to do that, I'd try a move. I'd turn to the guy and I'd say, I've been a bad boy. And in Australia, most of the time the guy would look back at me and say, you've been a very bad boy. And I like this because we agree. And because we agree, we can go somewhere fun together. I tried it in Canada. It didn't go too great. I turned to the guy I was making out with and I said, I've been a bad boy. And he just kind of looked at me and said, that's okay. Life's full of second chances. And I was touched. But not in the way I wanted to be touched. Now, this is the part of the story where I tell you I also, for 2 years, I lived in the UK, and that was my favorite, because I tried it over there. I turned to a guy and I said, I've been a bad boy. And he just went, you're ugly, too. I was like, banter, all right, you've got terrible taste in men. And he said, don't you know it? And then we made out. And then I had the best sex of my life. My name is Scott McInnes, and I've been a very bad boy.